Hey YouTube, what's up? Dr. T here, and welcome to the Altcoin Express and my hometown, St. Petersburg, Florida. So in the last few days, I diversified into ADA, EOS, Ontology, Trex, and XVG. Somewhere along the way, I noticed that Trex and Ontology weren't doing so good. So I dumped those and bought back into EOS and ADA. And then this morning I noticed that Ontology was starting to move again. So I dumped ADA, EOS. I wasn't in these two. And I dumped Verge, put it all into Ontology. Now let's take a look at the big picture and see how I make my decisions here. So we are currently in Bitcoin, which is the candles, and Ethereum, which is the blue line. Now, this is on tradingview.com. I run a TAME indicator 180-day moving average. You can't see it here, but a DEMA indicator 30-day moving average. And I like to start with the big picture and get a look at what's going on with the moving averages. So there's my drop lines here. Let's just move this in a little bit so we can see a bit better. 4 hours really. So I want to go back to the beginning, see where we are, where this all kind of started off. Can't we crush you up or something? There you go. Come on. Let's go. There you go. Okay, that was the big upside from last year into the long downside, which finally ended in April. Move you along a little bit. And then we hit the bottom in April and it starts to go up. So we now come in and I'm like following the 180-degree moving average. Here I like to cut it in half, see where things are going. We get a bit closer. Let's tighten this up a bit. Yo. More. It takes a lot of work doing this. February, April, sorry, I got a little bit beyond myself. So here's the spring upside, which went on a pretty good run. I mean, it got a lot of traction, and somewhere along here I kind of recognized, somewhere in here I recognized that. Let's get a little bit closer, make some adjustments when it settles out. Okay, we're looking at Bitcoin. Can we have you tighter, as tight as it will go on this framework? So I kind of recognize somewhere in here. Let's blow this up a bit. Now it's not doing what I want it to do, but I kind of recognize something in here that indicated that it had really not kind of followed through with its upside and there was something bad coming out. And so I put a speculative out, are we about to see a big downside? And I kind of didn't follow through because it was kind of difficult to do that. And it did a big dump. So we'll kind of come back down to earth a bit. Find our range when it settles out. So here's the downside. So we can now see, can we tighten this up a bit? Okay. Sort of. So it looks like we're turning, and that's a good indication that this is the top here where it hit 9,000. It just got above 10,000. So we're going to go in a bit closer now. And it's a bit jazzy with these both on here, but they kind of go along for the ride. In fact, we'll just get rid of you because you're just a friggin' nuisance. All right. So the big picture is, once again, let's just have a look at that big picture here. When you go out, thank you. So we can see the 180-degree moving average has definitely bottomed out on the 1 hour chart. And that means that this is now probably on an ascending time frame, in which course it will take whatever time it gets to go up and challenge this level again. It's having some ructions because people get burnt when they get on the downside of this, and it puts the fear of God into them, and that's why there's so much resistance to it going up. They want to get out. It's like, well, why do you want to get in the way of a rising market? You can see it's rising, but you want to get out all the same, which is kind of the way it is. We'll come over to GDAX for a minute, because I've got it on Bitcoin, and it's a bit bright here, but they're throwing a shit fit over here. It's go up, dump, go up, boink, dump, because these people that got burnt really kind of get shit scared about it, and it's just a matter of getting these people out of the way, because this is on an upward chart from here on out. Just have a bit of patience, and it will come back. It can come back very quickly. So go look into the more local picture and see what's been happening. Yeah, it's doing this pump and dump course. Now, we've kind of defined that Bitcoin and Ethereum have bottomed out, and they're going to go up with a few hiccups over the nearest term. It took 7 days to go up. It took 7 days to go down, because you don't really worry about these little inversions. When it's running 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year, it recovers, and we've seen how fast Bitcoin likes to recover. It likes to jump big time. So Ontology was moving a little bit better. It's probably the faster moving of these coins. It is a little bit kind of like a kangaroo. It tends to go up like a rocket and then come down. EOS has got a lot of volume on it. It tends to be a more long-range climber, as does ADA. I don't know much about Trex, and this thing is just forever going down, but it will one day be a source of significant income. So we're going to get out of there and go and look at Ontology. Do the same kind of thing and go back out. I like to back out all the way to my 4 hour line, 4 hour time frame, and that's a little bit too much. Ontology is a relatively new vehicle. Oh, this is a good picture to actually look at here, because it shows you how radical it goes up and then has a big dump, and how radically it climbs up again. I mean, this is not necessarily the signature forever, but this is the characteristic in its regional time frame of what it's doing. And there's some more news I'm going to post after I get this out. So we'll just come in and we'll find the 180-degree moving average shortly. So there it goes. So we found the 180-degree moving average, which is kind of new, so it's kind of not really telling us the whole story, but it's starting to show signs that we have turned the corner and it's on its way up. As I said, it tends to be a bit more radical fast climber than these others, and that's why I think I'm rightly justified in putting all of the dough in there right now. So we will, I like to kind of spread it out if there's a risk, and put it all in if there's a more guaranteed reward. And from the perspective that Bitcoin and Ethereum are on an upward track, it doesn't matter about the hiccups, they are up for the rest of the month, give or take, till something happens. Well, Ontology will do the same thing. If it super spikes, then, or gets a little bit overbought, then we can sell it off. So that's why I'm in Ontology. That is the current 15 and 30 are good time frames for looking at the big picture to see what's going on. And that's what we want to do, because you make your decisions off the big picture, not what's going on at the 5-minute time frame or the 3-minute time frame. The 3-minute time frame is just showing the local undulations of what Ethereum's doing. So we'll put Ethereum on here. We can see that it kind of, no, we don't want to go there. We do compare, put Ethereum on here. It's somewhere way down the bottom down here. Ethereum dollars trading view. Okay. and I like to give it a different color, and either the purple or the blue. Let's do purple for a change. Nice and bright. So boink. Blow it up a little bit. Yeah, well, you know, it was trending up, and then, you know, it had this buy up this morning when that's where I saw it moving. I got into it, and it would have just done its little nesting and then carried on. I thought it was going to spike, but didn't. And then, of course, the losers on Bitcoin dumped the whole shit out of Bitcoin, and Ethereum had to eventually go for the ride with it. But it's Mickey Mouse, you know. They get out of the way, and then it's, well, okay, let's get back on with the job. So it usually recovers pretty quickly. As you can see, it's pretty much tracking up with Ethereum tracking up, and we're on our way. So that's my kind of 10 cents for the moment. I'm going to stay in Ontology, follow Ethereum up until there are signs of something happening like this being overbought and there's a sell-off. And from that perspective, oh, the percentage upside here, oh, that's bright. Ethereum was like around 830 and change. It's now 815. That's 16%. Well, when the coin goes up with Ethereum, you get double that. That's 30%. I got a big dump out down here somewhere. So 30% of that is 8. So that brings us back over the 31,000 and change, which we had back up here some time ago. And there'll be some recursions taking place, and no doubt we'll get another penny out of it. So we'll end up back where we started off eventually, give or take. So that's the big picture from me, and next I will start uploading some news on Ontology.